Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to do something that I've been putting off, just like every other project, for quite some time. We are going to turn around and do up this kitchen wall as a propagation wall. I've been doing that for months now, but now we're going to do it again. Welcome to my kitchen, and I am short. The thing is that I love about this area is that it does not get a ton of sunlight, but because the fact that all of my walls are white, the windows that I have in my living room that are facing out towards the west, they reflect that light in here, which bounces it in. This makes it a beautiful place to propagate plants. So my best propagations came from this wall. And you know what I did? Well, I spent the last couple of weeks starting to change around my apartment, and I'm going to give you guys a bigger video of that coming up at some point. But I did spend a considerable amount of time, 2 hours to be precise, going on my green wall and clipping up all of the long vines that have since gotten out of hand. And by the time all that was said and done, I wound up with a ton of long vines. I mean, some of these vines are like 6 feet long. So we're going to have some fun and kind of use this space as sort of like a canvas, have you? And we are going to paint it up with heartleaf philodendron. The philodendron herbaceum, as they say. Not only do I have that clippings, that jar of clippings, but I also have another one. So let's just get to it. There was really no need for me to say, let's get to it. All I need to do is get this ladder because, as I've told you before, I'm shorter. All right? 5'6", but, you know, I tell people I'm 5'7", so let's just get on with this, all right? So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start with this guy here. And I have a few different, like, hooks, but I took a bunch of them off the wall when I took down the last few things that were propagating up here. The last thing that was propagating up here were a bunch of cuttings of Monstera deliciosa. And boy, oh boy, did they root up well. So well that I actually, earlier today, I potted them up. And I actually took the mother plant that they came from and I repotted her along with them. So it's kind of like a family reunion, you know? The ones that were inside the smaller pot before, the mother plant rather, that was inside of its smaller pot, as soon as I took that thing out, its roots were like layered around. It had no more space to grow, so I'm glad I was able to get it out of there. And those things, they root so fast. All right, so let us see here. I think what we'll do is we're going to go up and around. So I'm going to put this guy in here. I already have these cuttings, obviously, because like I was telling you, I went and I chopped them up from my wall there, my green wall in my living room, and that's going to be another project in itself. I can't believe that took 2 hours to do. 2 hours! But you know what? I'm glad I got it done because it had been annoying me for a while, and that's how it goes. So I'm going to, the hooks that I have up here already, I'm going to use those as best as I can because I am limited on a few of the adhesive hooks that I have, like these little leaf ones that I told you guys about, the ones that I get on Amazon. They're really cheap, but I did run out of some and I didn't want to order any more, so we shall see if I actually need to or not. But I think with these being in here, still up at least some of them, that it should be pretty decent. Let's see, I shall sacrifice one for this part and start clipping it together. You know what I love about this, in that it wasn't really something I thought about until, gosh, maybe almost 10 months ago or so. It was the first time that I decided to turn my kitchen wall into a propagation wall. Because I just kept on staring at it, and the thing had gotten so boring to me because it's just this white wall. And I do love classic white look, but at the same time, I'm like, I have plants everywhere else, but I do not have any plants in this area. And man, oh man, would it benefit from them. And so I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see with little propagation vessels that you can easily tack onto your wall, like these guys, which, by the way, I've gotten these on Amazon. If you just go on there and type in something like propagation wall container, I don't know what I called it, vessel. Sounds very nautical. Something like that, though. If you were to put it in, you'll find so many options, so many businesses, and a lot of small businesses too, that actually create and sell them. Now, I was able to get like 4 of these ones, and these ones are about 12 inches long, four of them for like 20, 22 bucks. And I'll tell you this, on Amazon, oftentimes you will find, if you're not clicking on perhaps the more specific one, if you start looking at other ones sold by other places, you'll eventually find things like a $5 off coupon and blah, 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 blah. So there's plenty of ways to save. But also, if you just happen to have like old mason jars and stuff like that, I use mason jars. I use little glass containers like this a lot. But of course, then you run into the issue of where do you put them on your wall? How do you do that? I guess you could tie them up in like twine or something and then, have a little hook and hang them. So, all right, I'm not 100%. See, this is why I like having those hooks because, or these little adhesive clips because they actually, when you have an area like this, it would be nice to just kind of have it like stuck up against there a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab two more, and by two I mean three, and I'm going to clip them on as well. And yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I did not have any plants in this area, but I wanted to add some to it just because the rest of my apartment is like a jungle, literally. You guys have seen it. And this area was just blank, and I'm like, what? What a waste of space. And my ceilings are 22 feet high ceilings, so there is a lot of space. And I thought, well, this is a cool way not only to propagate plants and grow new plants, but also it's a fun way to really just kind of add some color to an area that was a little bit mute. So that is what we're doing right here, and we're going to move on to the next one. I wanted to use these cuttings first before I move over to the other ones, which I have since brought over. They're over there. These ones just happen to be a bit longer, and I wanted to get through the longer ones first, and then I'll make my way over to the shorter ones, because I don't know if I'll actually need all of them on this wall. I might actually use them in a space that's near my work area. So that is to be decided. Okay, so we are going to move this ladder, which, trust me, when you have 22-foot high ceilings and you have a lot of plants, especially plants that like to climb, a ladder is your best friend. This thing is the only way I'm able to, design with the purpose of going vertically, and also at the same time, it allows me to water said plants that are further up that I can't normally get to. So I'm going to pull some of these leaves off because I forgot to. And this baby is actually, I'm going to take this cutting out, gently put it there, and I'm actually going to use this vessel instead of the one I have in there, because this one is more aligned with the size of the other ones, about 10 to 12 inches. I think it's 12 inches. Yeah. And since this is the longest vine that I have, I want to make sure that it has the most space in there so it can root like it's nobody's business except for itself, because, it's the plant that's rooting. And I'm only rooting for it. Yeah. So, hi, my name is Kevin. I do talk to myself quite often, by the way, so I apologize in advance. I talk to myself while I'm doing plant chores because nobody else will listen. And I don't blame them, because I can be kind of annoying. And by kind of, I mean a lot. So, okay, we're going to put this guy up here. I just want to clip it onto this already existing hook. And that way, I can head back up the ladder, all the way up to the canopy. I still get a kick out of that. It's so silly. Like, these are things I would say to myself early on in the pandemic when I was just here by myself, doing like all my plant stuff, and I would just like call it the canopy, which it kind of is, like where all the plants are hanging up above. And so that's what we're going to go with. I think if I owned a bar, maybe it would be called the canopy if it had a rooftop access. Yeah, that would be nice. I live here in Denver, Colorado, and I live downtown. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to is just a couple blocks away from me, a brand new bar opened up that's a plant shop and a bar. and it looks really cool. So I'm hoping to get there soon to check it out because I do enjoy me a good bar, and I also enjoy me plants. So you put those together, and what do you got? Cool things. Okay, this is a little bit trickier than I thought it would be. That hook is not wanting to play ball. Okay, I'm gonna clip this baby. This baby. Yeah. And come along the side there. Do do do. That is not a song, but I'm going to sing it anyways. All right. All right, all right, all right. So I'm wondering, do I go that way? No, I don't go that way. I'm going to do this way, I think. Oh, these vines are out of control. You know what's crazy is that there are so many vines that I had to um, pull down just so I can, give the plants a nice haircut and let them do their thing. But there are so many of them that I couldn't keep them all to propagate all the vines. So I ended up like throwing out a bag of beautiful lemon lime pothos cuttings, and those were some really really long ones. But at the same time, I was kind of fine with it because I don't know about you guys, but with those neon green lemon lime pothos, in fact, I have one right here that I'm giving away to a friend because while they are beautiful, man, oh man, when they run out of water and they are so dramatic, like they just kind of like right away, and on top of that, they I don't know, it's a pain. It is a pain to deal with them, and I'm not a fan of it anymore, and so I've decided that I'm not going to keep those cuttings. Obviously, I threw them in the trash. I didn't smile about it or laugh as they were going down the chute. I swear. I would never do that. All right. So I need to get back up here, and I'm going to try to see. Let's see. Okay. This needs to be stretched out a little bit more. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Why isn't that? Oh, okay. If I put the hook that way, gives a little bit of space. Do, 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 do. These are some happy plants. Well, actually, I don't know if they're happy plants because I chopped them down. Maybe it could be they could be going through some traumatic experience right now, and they hate me. Which I guess I wouldn't blame them because if I were living my best life up on a green wall and with all the other vines, and just because I happened to be a healthy long vine that was, just standing out, I got snipped. So I'm sorry, vines. I'm not really sorry. It was getting out of hand. It was crazy. Just don't tell them. Let's see. One more, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was also reading in the New York Times this week as I was sitting at my desk the other day, and I get this push alert saying something like the headline was something like plants scream and cry when they're being cut or attacked. And of course, I clicked on it and I was mortified. They did this research that shows that plants, when they're like either being cut or if something's happening to them, they do let out a noise that's so high frequency that we humans can't hear it. But researchers took all of these different pieces of sound technology and put it together to record the sound. And you can actually hear it in the New York Times article. I have decided not to listen to it because I think it would make me, oh God, I would probably be mortified to touch any of my plants if I heard what a plant scream sounds like when one is cut. So I'm just going to turn my head to it and pretend that they don't and that they like being propagated and all that fun stuff. Because that's healthy. Okay. Oh gosh, that one little spot there that's popping out is still bothering me. Where did I put another one of those things? Aha, this guy has one clicked onto him. Let us see. Another thing too, I appreciate you folks who've been watching my YouTube videos over the last year, especially those of you who were completely cool and understood when I put up a video post saying, Hey, just giving you guys a heads up. Doing a lot of plant stuff lately, and it's burnt me out a little bit, so that's why I haven't been posting videos. Because I think I went like 2.5, 3 weeks without posting anything. And normally I was getting really good at it, but at the same time, I was getting really burnt out on plants. And so my job in real life, is I create content for this amazing company, and so video content and all that stuff. That's why you see this edited up and all that jazz. But when you do that for a living, and I really love creating content, but at the same time, when you're doing it all the time for work, and then afterwards you need to put together video for YouTube and stuff, it's just you're so exhausted. Sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm just not. And that is what my vibe had been over the last, I'd say, month or so, month and a half. But I'm getting back into it now that the plants are getting orderly and aren't complaining as much as they used to. Okay, so now we're on to this fellow here. And I wish that this was a wider area so I could show you guys more of it, but it's narrow, and I'm short, and this ladder is not, so we're just going to push him up against here. I have now humanized the ladder by calling it him. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Oh, hopefully those leaves will start popping. I think that they look a little wilted just because of the fact that they were cut and all that stuff, but I have faith in them because they are philodendron, that they will bounce back, look super duper healthy, and all will be merry in the world, and none of them will scream or cry. There we go. I'm finally getting my words together because of them being cut. So I think what we're going to do with this little fun fella here, is we are going to, I think, make it circle around. A little circle sounds fun. I mean, it sounds fun to me, but I don't know how this plant's going to feel. This plant's probably like, that circle is not fun. That circle is awful, Kevin. Of course, they say my name sarcastically because that's how I envision them talking. And this is why you guys somehow continue to tune in, because I happen to talk to myself. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little loop-de-loop, and we shall use this fella. And now I've just personified a clip. Way to go, Kevin. Okay, so we're going to take this around hither, and we're going to put that there. And we are going to pop it in like that. You know, I happen to I put myself on a plant buying ban for months. And I recently just broke it. I went like, gosh, I want to say 3 to 4 months without purchasing any plants. And I was really proud of myself. I really wanted to focus on the plants I have because I love them all. And sometimes I forget how much I love them and that I should be giving them more attention than I am. But that isn't working. But I did recently, even including today, I happened to go by a Lowe's, and earlier on the weekend I got a orchid from Costco because they had such a great deal on orchids. They had big, beautiful moth orchids, Phalaenopsis orchids, and they were only $5, $4.98 or something like that for a full big moth orchid. And so I picked one up. It's beautiful. It's a white one. But then today I stopped by Lowe's to pick up some more soil. And while I was there, I happened to see 2 plants, and I ended up getting 2 of each that I really like because now that we're in spring, I want to add some more color to my apartment. And so what I did was I got some spring-looking plants, and I really love the way they look. I got 2 aglaonemias, and I also got 2 bromeliads. The bromeliads are a really beautiful, like yellowish, light orange, and then the aglaonemas are pinkish with splashes of green in there. So I am excited to design with those, and I have an idea of where they're going to go in the living room, but that'll be for another video at some point in the future. Hopefully it won't take me a month to do, like this has been taking me, so I apologize again. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that because what I like to do is that usually in the spring, summer, and fall is I will do a new theme in my living room and around my apartment. And I don't know what the theme is going to be of spring, but with those colors, it might be something like, I don't know, let's see, a colorful spring, blah, 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 blah. No, it's too cheesy. If you guys have any ideas as to what I should call the theme, please write it in the comments because I check your guys' comments all the time to see what y'all are saying. And I'm so glad I do because you guys really have some really great advice and tips on some of my plans, stuff that I had no idea about. And that's what I love about what I really love about our community is the fact that we all really just kind of like educate each other on stuff. And I think it's so cool and it's so fun. And you don't really see that in a ton of other communities. So I love the plant community for that reason and for many other reasons. But let's see. I also love the plant community for the fact that we all know that when we are dealing with plant burnout, that plant burnout is a real thing and it is awful and we all know it, we've all felt it, and we will continue to feel it, but we continue to do this anyways because we just love our plants, don't we? One thing, oh, that does look nice. I'm kind of liking it so far. Well done, plant cuttings. I'm sorry I cut you all. Okay, so next up is this area. Oh, did I really need two of those up there, though? Maybe I don't. Okay. What I'm going to do is find the next longest one, which could it be you? There is a philodendron Brazil cutting in here too. It's the only one I saved with the Brazil. Um, but I don't think that one's long enough. How long is this baby? That one's longer. Okay, okay, okay. I think we got it. I think we got it. All right. So we shall now move along and do it this yay. That is yay and not way, because saying yay is fun. Okay, dokie, let's see here. Maybe cut this guy off too, this one. Awesome, awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna, luckily I do have some hooks over here, which is great. And then we're going to move on to the counter and move this guy into here and snap him into place. And is there room? Okay, there we go. Okay. I wish I had more of those little clips. Behold, I do. I can just peel it off of this wall here. And what I found is that even like if you've had something, one of these like adhesives like up there for maybe months, if you peel them off slowly, sometimes it's like they're brand new still. So it's nice to be able to reuse them because it saves you money and it's also good for the environment, which I'm sure plants would love. What if it turned out that plants were not? Stay with me for a moment. Actually, don't. I have no idea where I was going with that. I'm just waiting for this thing to stop sticking. There we go. Okay. 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 I promise I'm getting it together now. Let's see. So do I have a cutting of something that, oh, I know what I can put up in that one right there. I have a bunch of philodendron bipenniformium cuttings, and I think that that would be a really lovely spot for it. Granted, it won't have the same oomph that the rest of these philodendron heteroeciums do, but it might just do the trick. Let me go and grab one, because it's right behind you. And by you, I mean the camera. Okay. Okie dokie. And I've grabbed one. This is it. Woohoo. I like chopped up this plant too. This one was another vigorous grower. It just grew like crazy so fast. Okay, throw that in there. And I like it because it looks like a little finger hand sticking out. And it's kind of creepy, but awesome. Okay, so we have that. And I think what I'm going to do is, like last time, I'm going to clear out an area over here on my counter because I have this philodendron heteroecium growing or propping up inside of here. And I'm going to leave that glass there. And then going to, maybe I won't use this one particularly, but I do have one over here, and I also have some propagation glasses, like all over the place. I'm like, why am I looking when they're just literally everywhere? Okay, so I have this, and then we'll fill this little glass-colored heart. How cute. It's a glass-colored heart. A glass-colored heart. It is a glass-shaped heart that has no color because it's glass and it's transparent. And so I'm putting the cutting into here. I got this at Michael's for like $2. I love going to get propagation glasses at a place like Michael's because not only are they cheap, but they also have really fun designs. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to set her down here and we're going to start stringing it up. What I am grateful for about with these cuttings is that they came from, like I was telling you, the heartling philodendrons that I have growing on my living wall in my living room, and I had them growing up, and so their vines are going upwards instead of like hanging down. So the design part of it would look a little bit more backwards, like this one, where it was starting to go up and then coming down. And just aesthetically, it drives me nuts when things aren't going in the right position, but that is because I am insane. All right, so we're going to take this baby and we're going to put her up here like so. Okie dokie. Okay, and I'm just going to let that adhesive sit for a second because it needs about. It's always good to be in the habit of like holding your finger on it for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, just so it actually sticks. They're really easy to come off if you're not careful. So that's my PSA for the day. You're welcome. Thanks, Kevin, but not really. Okay, so I have one more. One more. Will this work? Yeah, this one will. Okay. One more. And do it up this way. And I think I've told you guys this in the past, but I grew up in upstate New York, near the Syracuse, Utica area, and there we pronounce our words differently. Some people say you just don't pronounce them correctly, but I beg to differ. Like when you hear me say and, it's like it's an exaggeration of e. The a is overpronunciated. D's and t's don't really exist. When I say how you would say mountains, they're mountains to me. Winter is winter. Um, and that's it. And thanks so much for listening to my TED Talk. All right, let me move this ladder out of the way so we can get a look. And clearly, actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to put up another one of those philodendron bipenniphilium cuttings up there, because that would not only work perfectly with that one side by side, but it would also fill that spot. So that's what we're going to do, my friends. And we're also going to take this little clip down because it serves no purpose anymore. You've been retired, and we thank you for your service, clip. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, that's right. I also bring these things to life, too. And now they have voices. Bipenniphilium cutting is what we need. And let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, it's so crazy how fast these darn things grow. And I I couldn't get it to grow for like the first 6 months I had it because I was giving it bright indirect sunlight, like most philodendron like. But this one likes medium light. And the moment I gave it medium light, whew, thing took off like crazy. So I'm like cutting it up all the time. Okay, so now that we have that done, we have some extra cuttings, which I will put to use, I promise, probably around my computer area. But just to move out of the way and give you guys a view right now, this is what it looks like compared to what you saw earlier, right before we started. So it didn't take long, just what, like about 15 minutes or so to really make this come to life. And what it does is that it helps fill up an empty space in your home. And it's cheap to do. And on top of that, in about 4 to 5 weeks, when these cuttings have really taken hold and grow some nice roots, you're going to have yourself a brand new, beautiful trailing philodendron heteroecium, heartleaf philodendron. And I'm so looking forward to that. But I have to say, you guys are really awesome, and I appreciate your support so much. If you haven't already, would you mind giving this video a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, just so you can see all the brand new content that I'll have coming out, and so we can continue talking about plants, and I can continue talking to myself. It's fun, right? Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you guys in the next video.